Welcome, Voyagers, to Lesson 22, dealing with the rhythm of accelerating and braking. Accelerating and braking. We do it all the time in cars. You must, between stoplights, accelerate and brake. And I recommend always that you do it safely and slowly, not fast acceleration, hard braking, impatiently going from stoplight to stoplight as though it's a battlefield. It's not. We want safe roadways for the sake of children, animals, passengers. So to tame ourselves and tame our egos so that we mainly drive two hands on the wheel, safe acceleration, safe braking. And we'll get there when we get there, wherever there is. So, gotta sign in. First I'll do it with the teacher sign to welcome you. Peace, joy, love. Peace, joy, love. Now enter a state of meditation. One on time and space and matter. Begin my deep breathing. I'm going to show some extreme movements tonight. Some of them literally likened unto a jet taking off an aircraft carrier and then re-entering the aircraft carrier. You have to be very relaxed. And I want theta and delta brain waves, not beta agitated. Theta, the kind used in yoga and meditation and prayer. I'm going to tell a story. And I'm going to also talk about some great martial artists. So here's my production notes. I wear these because after cataract surgery, the world's a little too bright. Hurts my eyes, so with prescription glasses, colors come out and the world's a good tone. That's why. But beyond that, I need, as an advanced senior, glasses that I can read. So I'm saying discuss the themes of breaking things and putting them together again. Speak of your mentors, Army Sergeant Tony Mares, Grandmaster He Il Cho, and Grandmaster Fred Villari, all experts in breaking techniques and martial arts in general. Gentlemen, all, in my view. I'm going to start with Sergeant Anthony Mares and do time travel back in time. I'm 73 now. I was there and then, 19 to 20. I was a sophomore in university. I saw Anthony Mares working out with 4 blue belts. I was studying Shotokan under another master, Hayashi, moving up the ranks, but it was a little, I wanted more physical contact and a little more kicking and punching, and I saw Anthony, and so I approached in his workout, and then I bowed. Sensei Mares, I'd like to become a student because I want more contact and fast action. And he said, well, Dan, you can apply, here's the way. And I said, well, I would like to apply today if I might, sir. And I'm willing to fight all 4 of your students for a place in your curriculum. where you and I would work privately. He looked at his students, one of whom became later the Lieutenant Governor of New Mexico. I won't mention his name, but a dear friend. And he said, "Students, are you up for sparring with Dad?" They all were quite interested. So one by one, it took about 8 minutes. In live sparring, I dispensed with each student without hurting anyone. Sergeant Morris came over and says, "Dan, you can meet me for an hour every Friday, become my private student, and I'd like you to move along in the system that I learned in Korea for 4 years as a sergeant in the Army. But I worked under a Grand Master who I think was Sensei Kim, can't remember. And I would be glad to pass on to you what I learned." So, we're well underway now, several months into the training, but today he's saying, "Now I have a clay mound, moist clay, specially prepared. Let's get on our knees and let's punch for 20 minutes because I think you need to build calcium deposit and toughen up these bones and make them stick out like mine." They were very prominent on Sensei Morris. I did it that one day, but the Holy Spirit during the week did an intervention because I had come to trust the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit as a 17-year-old teenager, had my life turned around from anger basically to love and service. So the Holy Spirit, I wanted an online channel, could ring me up anytime. The Holy Spirit came to me in my dorm room and said, "Dan, I need these hands that I created and gave you. I don't want them to become deformed clubs for martial arts. I don't want you to break. Now, I'll let you break a few boards and a couple of bricks as part of your training. That's okay. But do not pound things because I don't want a calcium deposit and I don't want you to have arthritis later on in life. You need artist hands. You're going to be typing for the Lord, typing for the books the Lord brings your way. You've got to have healthy fingers and knuckles. And I'll teach you how to knock out somebody easily without ever calcifying your bones for personal self-defense." So I respectfully came back the next week, and when Sensei Morris said, "Let's get on our knees and pound the clay," I said, "Sensei, may I please defer from that one activity? I love everything else you're teaching me, but I'm going to need my hands for other purposes." And you know what he said? "This is a gentleman and a man of God." He bowed to me and said, "Absolutely, Dan. No more of that kind of training for you. I understand you need your hands for other purposes." Now that is a man of God, a gentleman, and a true martial artist. We move forward through time, maybe 20 years. Now I have a couple of black belts, and I've met Grandmaster Hee-Il Cho, Taekwondo. Whoa! A spectacle in the universe to me. He's about a little older than me, 3 to 5 years. He may be 75 to 80 now. I think he's still alive. Tony Morris passed on to be with God. Hi, Tony. So, back to our story. Grandmaster Cho can take blocks of ice or cinder block. I don't know, 5, 8, 10, whatever he wants, in his prime, in his 40s and 50s. I don't know how long he kept doing this. But what I saw, come on over here, Kate. Now I'm going to work with this to tell my personal story today. But Master Cho is facing these blocks and a huge crowd. Doesn't want to break his hand. He wants to use quantum force acceleration with no braking. Because he wants to break the object that he's hitting. So he's warmed up. He approaches. He's ready. He centers, gets his chi. Everybody holds their breath. Grandmaster Cho. Ah! The ice, cinder, whatever it was, disintegrates like a building being blown up by TNT from within. The quantum force is so powerful that it sends a shock wave, and all of it splits apart and falls to the wayside before Grandmaster Cho. Wow. Now we go another 10 years. I'm working under a different form of martial arts completely from Taekwondo. I'm working under Grandmaster Fred Villari, Shaolin Kempo. The animals, the 5 animals. But he also trains Navy SEALs, law enforcement. He's not that tall, but he's stocky and well built. So now Grandmaster Villari is facing a police baton. A police baton, the real thing. I felt it. This is wood. And they want them to break heads if needed and control crowds, get people's attention, not abusively, but to preserve life and liberty in the pursuit of happiness. So he's having an assistant hold a police baton. He approaches it. He's ready. Ah! It doesn't break. The crowd can hardly believe and breathe, but he's fine. Grandmaster Villari. In martial arts, as a gentleman, warrior, you integrate strength and weakness. Not egotism and grandiosity has no place in martial arts. So Grandmaster Villari doesn't bat an eye. He says, please hold it again. Ah! It doesn't break. Now he didn't break his hand because he has quantum force control. He wanted to follow through all the way. That's how you break through a material object. So that's where the strike was going, but it resisted with an equal and opposite force, and he bounced off on purpose. Like a trout not taking a fly. The trout takes it, but then spits it out in time, so you can't hook the trout, you can't break the hand. Now, undeterred, he approaches. Ah! And the baton snaps like a twig, broken clean in half. Oh! I take off my hat to Grandmasters. Now, I'm going to do something innovative and new in the field of martial arts. I've never seen it done around the earth. They're going to help me. And the reason I can have them on this table of the iron cage is that I'm not going to follow through like Master Cho and Master Villari. I'm going to stop my own force. And here's how I'm going to do it. Come, Kate. On aircraft carriers, preserving life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, every day there's a jet taking off from stationary positions. They hit the catapult and bam, in seconds, full thrusters, and they have to have enough force to escape the aircraft carrier and go up and not into the water. Their life is at stake, life and death. Woo! But that's not all. They're in flight. Now they gotta land. Whoa! Yeah, I've been flying my patrol. Now here's this speck in the ocean. It's an aircraft carrier. It's It's going up and down. 16-foot waves, whatever. Moving target. I'm coming in. I'm moving from Mach 3 to Mach 1, 2 to Mach 1. 600 miles an hour now. 400 miles an hour. 200 miles an hour. In minutes and seconds. And now I've got to land. Now how they do this last thing, I don't know. I don't know if they start reverse thrusters. I don't know if turn off the engine. I don't know. I'm not a pilot. But they suddenly decelerate. And then they hit the short runway. And the tail hook engages the aircraft. And hydraulics follow them and pull them back with mighty force. Pull them back. They would fly clear off and crash every time, but the thrusters are built into the motion to pull them back, and bring them to a soft, safe stop. That's what I'm gonna do. I want this in my repertoire of movements. So I'm warming up. Full thrusters, flight, and I stop it. A quantum interface. I don't want to go through the material. I want to engage the outer periphery of molecule to molecule so that they're safe, I'm safe. One more time. Full stop. Full acceleration and deceleration. Did you see it? Oh! Now, I have a true story. I only tell true stories. To illustrate that, I'll tell a little about who I am. Hey guys, Piglet, how you doing? Put up your dukes, put up your dukes. I like fighting stories. I'm not going to give out honey because this is more about acceleration and braking. And Flower doesn't have anything to say. So now I'm a junior in high school. Abusing the privilege of my brain, misusing my body. I go to a state student council convention. I think I'm so darn smart that I have just been recently introduced to different flavors of vodka. So, I like adventure, like risks. I buy half pints of lime, cherry, lemonade, whatever it was. That's my plan for the student council convention. Free time to party. I'll go high to, I don't care what they're saying. I want to have fun. So I drink up that week all my supply of vodka, and I use breath mints. I think nobody knows. However, somebody knew. I think the photographer, Mr. Stein, I think is the one, went to the principal and said, "You got a problem child in Dan Montgomery." Now I know he's on the honor roll, and I know that but he's got alcohol. He drinks too much on these conventions. Principal Kramer calls me in with my parents and says, with Anna Mae and Charles Montgomery and Dan, "Dad, I'm about to suspend you from school. But I first want to hear what you have to say and what your parents say about you, to know if I can trust what you have to say or not." She says, "What do you have to say for yourself?" I say, "I'm very sorry. It was bad behavior. I can see how it's scandalous. And I will not touch another drop of alcohol while at Robertson High School." He turns to my parents and says, "Now what do you have to say? Can I trust this guy or not? Because I will either suspend him today or I'll believe him. And if I believe him, that means he will not touch another drop of alcohol because all hell will come down on him from me and the truancy officer. My dad doesn't get defensive. He knows that it's all true. He just says, well, Principal Kramer, I'll tell you this that I've learned about Danny since he was a little boy till today. He's extraordinarily fair when he plays, and he tells the truth. Principal Kramer said, that's good enough for me. Danny, you're free to go and graduate from this school as long as you keep your word. So, I'm telling the truth. Are you going to tell the blue bottle story? Yes, Piglet. Oh, I think I want to hear this. It's Dr. Dan versus the blue bottle fly. Okay, this happened a year ago in our condo complex. I was out on the 3rd floor on a little terrace they provide. It had a table like this made of kind of interlaced iron chair. Had my hand on it and I was drinking an energy drink and praying and contemplating. A blue bottle fly came. And this is Texas where we now live. We live also Santa Fe, Santa Barbara, San Francisco, but Texas. Texas has big insects. Big tiger swallowtails, big mosquitoes at the lake, and a big blue bottle fly. So, he enters. I give him a fair chance. Go away. Zip, 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 zip. He lands and he jumps on my hand. I'm thinking, that isn't right. I don't know what's been on your feet. You're carrying now, what kind of germs? You're invading my space. Please, I do it one more time. Whoa, go away. Zip, 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 zip. And then he lands here. Oh my gosh, right there? Yes. To take a stand. So I move into action. I like studying the animals and insects. I watch a lot of nature stuff. I become a Porsche spider. The Porsche spider has 8 sets of eyes, really big. It moves slow, but 8 eyes. And it's like an architect of it. It has 3-dimensional vision. So if that fly landed near a Porsche spider and bothered him, which I've seen on video, the Porsche looks up and shoots an invisible strand of web to a plant, scurries up that, shoots another above the spider. How does he do that? I don't know. And then he shoots another one and comes down about here in position for a shot. So I get ready. I entered the zone. I cock, I'm locked and loaded, but I don't move. Then the Porsche, at a moment of his own choosing, will drop and that's into the bottle fly. However, I'm a Homo sapien, and I don't have a fly swatter. I don't want to kill the spider and splatter his germs and body parts all over it's unsanitary. So I do a different calculus. Can I hit the bottle fly hard enough to stun him? You know, you've hit bottle flies and flies with a fly swatter. They get stunned and they can't move. So you can throw them away. And you didn't kill him. So I'm calculus. Space, time, matter. Can I stun him and then remove him? I don't know. I was just having a drink, but anyway. I'm ready. I wait for him to make a move because he's crafty. And if he's in a vigilant state, I want to play possum. So he buys it, like I'm not there. He takes a step to jump onto my hand, but I know his brain is preoccupied, and that's when I strike. Ah! Now, like the Air Force dropping a smart bomb on a building, they want to come in with other cameras and take photographs. So I step back and see if I met my target objectives. Here's the butterfly. He looks intact. I kind of wave my hand. He doesn't move. I touch him and he doesn't move. His nervous system is frozen. So I applied apparently enough force to interrupt his biological activity, but he's still intact. So I don't have a grudge. I don't carry grudges. I don't do that. I like to preserve life, freedom, and happiness. So I part his wings. Oh my gosh, he parted his wings? Yes. And I lifted one up. And I lifted him up and walked him to the balcony. Put him out about a foot and now he may have had a rough landing because he was still unconscious, I think, and probably fell 3 stories onto the grass. It's no big deal for a fly. I'm sure he came to and in the meantime, I was able to finish my drink. Now, Kate, I told you this story the day it happened. Let's change camera view.
Hi, everybody. I said to Dan when I heard that story, that is essence Dan, because you both assert your rights and you're fair when you do it. That's the story.
Come on over. How can you frame this to get the gang so we can sign off? Sign off this way, Kate. Take the picture that way so they can see you. Turn them around. This is Kate. And Dr. Dan signing off for lesson 22. Join us next time soon. Peace, joy, love.
Good night.
Bye-bye.